Stone, and presiding is Judge Gerald Jones with the Norfolk Circuit Court. We appreciate his service every year or a couple of years coming to swear our board members in. So, Ms. Stone, I'd like to ask you to come join Judge Jones on the opposite side of the mic for your swearing in.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, yeah, we want to make sure we get this recorded, this moment for posterity.
Did you all want to join? Okay.
I told him to scoot back so my mom could get the video.
Ms. Stone, are you prepared to take your oath of office?
Yes, yes.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the
and that I will faithfully
Commonwealth, and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a school board member
as a school board member
of the School Board of the City of Norfolk
of the School Board of the City of Norfolk
for a term beginning November 2023,
for a term beginning November
20,
2023
2023, and expiring December 31st, 2024,
and expiring December 31st, 2024,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
As we always say, if you sign there, this will get you on the payroll. So you'll do this duplicate. All right, round of applause, please. Congratulations. Thank you for your
And now we're going to
willingness
take
serve.
photos with Judge Jones, our newest board member, and board members and superintendent. If you all can go to the step and repeat. Mr. Varner's going to take your pictures.
Where do you want us to go?
Yeah. Yeah. And after this photos in the family, you all can come up and take pictures. Ali, you want to move the podium some?
Got a judge right here. You saw it.
Okay. Let's do it Olin Mills style. Everybody turn sideways. This way and that way. There we go.
I can't kick very high, so don't ask.
We might want a couple more.
You heard that going fast. And now photos with your family and Judge Jones. You all are welcome to come forward. Judge Jones wouldn't allow her family to take pictures with you. Yeah. You'll get it with Judge Jones? Yeah. you already, I'm sorry. There we go.
Appreciate it.
And please join us for cake, not ice cream, but cake in the hallway to commemorate her swearing in today, so before 4 o'clock.
You know what? I need to take my stand.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to call the school board business meeting for November 29th, 2023 to order. Okay, Ms. Tanner, please call the roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please call the roll.
Okay. Basine,
Here.
Buffalo,
Here.
Clanton,
Present.
Gabriel,
Present.
Jordan,
Here.
Stone,
Here.
and Martin.
Present. Okay. Thank you. Up first, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be, we will be led by our student representative, Mr. Cameron Satter.
Good evening. We request that all cell phones and pagers to be turned off or to vibrate during the course of this meeting. Thank you. Please rise and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt the school board business meeting agenda?
I move that we adopt the school board agenda.
Thank you.
I
Second.
I'll go with Tanya on the, Ms. Basine on the second.
Oh, okay. All right. Basine,
Aye.
Buffalo,
Aye.
Clanton,
Aye.
Gabriel,
Aye.
Jordan,
Aye.
Stone,
Aye.
and Martin.
Aye. Okay, up next, we have the school board clerk's report. Go ahead, Ms. Tanner.
We have a special recognition this evening for our most recent school board member, Lauren Campson, who served our school district with pride and with dignity. In her honor, I would like to ask our school board members and the superintendent and our student reps to make your way to the NPS backdrop for a moment. Let you all transition now. And once they get in place, Ms. Campson, I want you to go to the podium. Okay, you have a special escort to the podium. Okay, Ms. Campson, you can go to the podium. Yes. And first, I'd like to ask our student representative, Cameron Sater, to present to you a beautiful piece of artwork designed by one of our talented students, Mallory Stone of Maury High School. She's a 10th grader who was unable to join us here today. She created a relief print that was hand-carved from either linoleum or wood block, and printmaking is a process-oriented media and considered a craft due to its utilitarian purpose of reproducing text and imagery quickly. Students that master printmaking are very patient, focused, and highly motivated by the end product. Blocks can be printed multiple times, producing a multi-print series, hence the edition number in the lower left-hand corner of your piece of artwork, and it's a cardinal. So let's give our 10th grader who's not here, Mallory Stone, a hand. Because they felt that was a proper recognition for you because you are special. And then next we have Dr. Noel Gabriel, who has a special proclamation from the city of Norfolk, who's going to read it to us.
Ms. Campson, I would be honored to read the proclamation that our mayor and city council have put together in your honor. Okay. City of Norfolk, Virginia proclamation. Whereas Lauren D. Campson, a graduate of Oldham University, faithfully served with passion and dedication for nearly 40 years with Norfolk Public Schools as a classroom teacher, elementary and high school reading specialist, elementary instructional specialist, elementary assistant principal, and finishing out her career as principal of Ocean View Elementary School. And whereas, under her leadership, Ocean View Elementary School was recognized for outstanding academic achievement, and in 2008 was one of 11 schools in Virginia to be named a National Blue Ribbon School. And whereas throughout her career, Ms. Campson has been recognized for academic and leadership excellence, she was inducted into the Golden Key National Honor Society, named Meadowbrook Elementary School Teacher of the Year, and was a member of the All-City Teaching Team, was awarded the National Terrell B.H. Bell Principal for Educational Leadership, and named Virginia National Distinguished Principal in 2014. And whereas on July 1st, 2018, Lauren D. Campson was elected to the school board of the City of Norfolk to represent Ward 5, where she dutifully worked with parents, businesses, educational professionals, and other community members to create an educational vision for our schools and its students. And whereas after 5 years of devoted service as a member of the school board of the City of Norfolk, Lauren Campson will retire. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, this is Kenneth Cooper Alexander, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, do hereby offer many thanks and much appreciation to Miss Lauren D. Campson for her passion, dedication, commitment as an educator with Norfolk Public Schools and as a member of the school board of the City of Norfolk, and for her numerous and significant contributions to our community.
Please stand in honor of Ms. Campson.
Councilman Smeagol, I will ask you to say a few words, and then Ms. Campson.
Oh, absolutely. And just thank you for the invitation, and it was a pleasure to help organize this for Lauren because, well, Lauren and I go way back. I was a parent of hers and a spouse of one of her employees. But everything that's in there is exactly, it's a testament to the years and years and years of dedication that Lauren has given to the students of the City of Norfolk. She wanted to continue serving at a different capacity after she retired from education as a school board member, and we were so elated to get an educator on the school board, and she dedicated 5 years, and I'll tell you, it's tough to even dedicate 1 year, as anybody knows, it's elected to office, but to give 5 years, to want to continue giving back to the school system and to continue to make difference in the City of Norfolk. So we just really greatly appreciate everything that you've done as my friend, and we look forward to finding another board or commission or something so that you can continue to give, maybe volunteer reading in an elementary school, because we know reading is near and dear to your heart. But thank you so much on behalf of the mayor, city council, Ward 5, the citizens of Norfolk. Thank you for all of your years of service to our city. Thank you.
Would you like to provide some remarks, Ms. Campson?
Got blindsided a little bit, so I don't have anything prepared. But I would like to say to everyone, all right, without crying, thank you all so much. Norfolk Public Schools is in my heart, as it has been for so long. And working with people here in Norfolk, in the school district, and how hard our teachers and our students and everyone else works for our children. I appreciate it so much now from the inside, and now I'll be able to watch it from the outside. There are a couple here I may have my eyes on, but we'll continue to do your hard work. Don't get yourselves disappointed or upset with what's happening in politics, because we just ignore that in Norfolk Public Schools, and we stick with what we need, and we're here for one reason, and that's for the children. And so don't let people like that ignore them. Ignore them. Stay with yourself and all the wonderful things. As I sit here, I see so many people that I've worked with for so many years. Congratulations for still doing it, and keep going no matter what happens, because once we get people focused back on the schoolhouse instead of all these other politics, everything's going to zoom here in Norfolk Public Schools, just like it has before. We've been there, we'll be back again. So thank you all for having me here. It was a little bit of a surprise, but I feel very grateful to everyone. Please know that, and you'll always be in my thoughts. Thank you.
Get a picture?
Yes.
Oh.
And then you can stand beside the superintendent and Ms. Basine, Ms. Campson, so we can get you all in a photo together. There you go.
What about the art that that wonderful student did for me? Let me do them both.
We will. She will do that.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for your service. It's been a while since we have had a male in this position. Good work. Thank you. Thank you.
She can put that back in there. Thank you. That concludes my report, Dr. Martin.
Okay, up next, we have our superintendent's report. Go ahead, Dr. Birdsong.
Good evening, school board members, staff, community, and our community watching at home. As you know, every month we take some time to celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of our students with our focus on our strategic plan and student excellence. And so today we have a wonderful video collection for you so that you can see the amazing things that our children are accomplishing within our school division. And of importance is you'll see a little bit of history too. A few years back, Norfolk Public Schools, we used to take our kids to Naval Station, not to Naval Station Norfolk, but to the air show in Virginia Beach. And we always thought, hey, we are the home of the largest naval base in the world. Like, why can't we bring STEM to Norfolk Public Schools? And so we did so about 5 or 6 years ago, right here in the great city of Norfolk and on base. And so today within the video, you will see the first African American and the first female commanding officer of Naval Station Norfolk, which is great history for our children. They absolutely loved interacting with her. She was so student-focused, and I've already said to her, now, we have a teaching contract. I know your background is in STEM, so we're happy to hire you, and right away. So please take a moment to watch the video and some of the amazing things that our children are doing, and some fun events, too, like the Big Feet meet that we had at Lake Taylor High School. So please roll the video.
Fifth graders from every school in the division gathered at Naval Station Norfolk for the annual Navy STEM Day. This unique event enabled students to experience a wide variety of STEM activities in just a few hours. While there was plenty of teaching and learning going on, thanks to the Navy and dozens of organizations in attendance, there was also time for students and adults alike to enjoy themselves and have fun.
They're excited, but I think I'm more excited than they are. Just seeing their faces light up when they can come and just be exposed to not just our STEM displays, but just the advent of being on the installation, going on board the warship, seeing the aircraft. You never know if you're going to plant a seed for a young person that'll inspire them for something one day. And this is what this is about for me.
It was nice. There was lots of things to do, and you can like walk around and move, and you're like outside with like fresh air and stuff. I could do a lot of stuff, and it was fun. All the experiments and stuff, it was super fun.
From spending time on a destroyer and an aircraft carrier to participating in hands-on experiments, students got an up-close look at what STEM has to offer when it comes to future career opportunities.
So many connections to science that we see here, marine science opportunities, seeing engineering, engineering design, all of those things that we try to incorporate within the classroom. We're hoping that it's going to engage our students and stimulate them within a STEM career, whether it be the medical profession, whether it be engineering, architect, all of those things. It's opportunities for our students in every avenue.
See, I wanted to be a police officer and a Navy person, but I really thought I could never do that. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna accomplish my dream. I signed up for this because I really want to come and I want to experience this stuff. I really want to know.
Virginia Wesleyan University was the spot where some of our high school students talked to around 90 colleges and universities. The annual post-secondary college fair was a great way for students from our 5 high schools to gain some insight and knowledge for their futures.
I think it's really good for the student. I feel like it's good for myself because it shows me the opportunities that I have instead of just like the city I'm in or the state I'm in, and like what different colleges have to offer. And I feel like it's also good for networking and getting to know people more.
I love seeing, and just you can go from one table, and if they don't offer something, you just move on to the next table. And so you have it all in like, and you get flyers and you get pamphlets, and so it's all informative. So if like you forget something, you know you have it right in your hand, so you can look back at it.
Students at Ghent School kicked off the All Norfolk Reads event with a high-energy pep rally. Maury High School's cheerleaders and drumline gave a spirited performance with reading as the focus. And students were introduced to a song about this year's book created by their reading specialist. Following the festivities, students were given their own copy of Ways to Make Sunshine so they could begin the citywide reading initiative.
It's just all about engagement, and it's all about having our scholars read. I think once we're engaged, they'll be engaged and excited about reading. I love it. I love it. It's a homeschool connection, and I love the fact that we can go into the homes of our scholars with this one book.
Larchmont Elementary celebrated literacy during their annual character book parade on Halloween. Parents and family members cheered on nearly 650 students in preschool through 5th grade as they walked around the school dressed as their favorite book characters.
They're using their imagination, their creativity, and connecting it to books that they have read as a family in a classroom with the librarian. And it's just connecting everything. It's all about celebrating books and literacy and just the love of reading.
As part of Norfolk Public Schools' division-wide attendance challenge, Lake Taylor High School's administration and drumline visited Southside STEM Academy at Campus Stella to present them with the official attendance challenge flag, thereby selecting them as the next school in the challenge. Southside STEM Academy proudly accepted, and to show their commitment to attendance, students came up with a special message. Southside STEM then passed on the flag and the challenge to Coleman Place Elementary. Here's a look at our schools with the best attendance in August and September. Sherwood Forest led all elementary schools, while Academy for Discovery was tops for K through 8. Blair came in strong for middle schools, and Booker T. Washington finished first among high schools.
Middle school sports fall season has come to an end. Let's take a look at some images and results. Congrats to all. An innovative award was unveiled recently that put a spotlight on some of our school employees.
Well, we're very excited about the opportunity to recognize the wonderful, magnificent teachers we have in Norfolk Public Schools. The Rockstar Teacher Award recognizes teachers who have perfect attendance. We know in order for us to provide equity and excellence for all, our teachers have to be in the classrooms. So those teachers that receive perfect attendance are recognized by their schools, and they're recognized by district leadership.
I was just coming down the hallway, and I did not expect to be stopped, so I was shocked. My jaw dropped all the way down to the floor. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to share this with my family. I know they're going to be so proud. So I'm super excited.
We feel as though that our teachers are the best and brightest teachers throughout the United States of America. So we want to take the opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for the good work you do each and every day to ensure that teaching and learning is of high quality throughout our schools in Norfolk Public Schools.
Over 50 pairs of free prescription eyeglasses were distributed to excited students at Sherwood Forest Elementary. These students took a free eye exam and chose their frames on a Saturday, and only days later, representatives from Homer Optical returned to the school with the glasses. They made sure that each student had the perfect fit and gave them a protective case for their brand new glasses.
Oh my goodness, it's very exciting. You know, what we did a couple Saturdays ago was fun. It was a great time, but this is the rewarding part, especially when you have children that's never worn glasses before and needs them, and you put the glasses on their face. You can look at the expression on their face, and it makes your day. It'll make the hair on your arm stand up, if you will. So it's just absolutely wonderful to see the expression on their faces when they put the glasses on for the first time.
I think I'm going to be able to see like the board more and maybe like small words more, because I just found out I was nearsighted like last Saturday. I think they the best. Hold on. Because, you know, I look good. I'm rocking them.
Inclusion and fun were the objectives as middle school students with exceptional needs competed in the annual Big Feet meet at Lake Taylor High School. After a brief opening ceremony, students participated in a wide variety of athletic events located around the football stadium.
We have all kinds of athletic events and activities planned. We have cornhole, we have some track and field events with the dash with our students in the wheelchairs. We have some wind tunnels and some hurdles to run through. So we're very excited to have the students come out and be able to participate in sports with their peers and demonstrate that anyone can enjoy physical activity regardless of their physical capability.
Thanks to numerous sponsors, supportive volunteers, and specially assigned peer buddies, students had a terrific time showing off their skills.
These guys have been practicing the last 6 to 8 weeks with their peer buddies, practicing all kinds of gross motor skills from kicking to running, throwing, jumping, and they are out here to showcase their talents and hang out with their peers and build inclusion and social skills and all that good stuff.
He is awesome. He's like the most awesome athletic. He wants to do everything, and he's awesome. So we went around, we did some obstacle courses, we threw a disc, and he's been awesome and super good at it. Nice chance for get them to be active and socialize and everything. It's nice to see their smiles.
Norfolk Public Schools students and staff members recognized Unity Day in October by wearing orange and participating in activities such as poster making. In addition, the division's anti-bullying mascot, Billy the Bully Buster, visited the Academy for Discovery at Lakewood to spread the message of kindness, acceptance, and inclusion. For more stories and information about what's happening in Norfolk Public Schools, visit the NPS homepage and click on the YouTube link.
All right, well, thank you very much. That was a lot of exciting things going on in our schools, and we always love to see that. Let's see. Okay, up next we have citizens' comments. Ms. Tanner, how many people do we have on the list at this time?
Chairman Dr. Martin, today's citizens' comments, we have 5 speakers.
Okay.
And today's speakers have signed up for public comments before the start of today's business meeting. If you would like to provide public comments, you are required to state the agenda item or items or topic you are addressing prior to providing your public comments at this meeting. When your name is called, please come forward to the speaker's podium, state your name and whether you have a child in Norfolk Public Schools or if you are employed by the district, and state your agenda item. One person is to speak at a time. If you are representing a group, state the group's name. You may ask your group members to stand in place to be recognized. Speaking time is limited to 3 minutes. A timer is set with an alarm that will signify the end of your speaking time. State your position and give facts and relevant data. Avoid saying anything that identifies students or personnel information about individual employees. Personnel, disciplinary, and confidential matters may be addressed to the school board directly via email at schoolboard@npsk12.com. Comments should be addressed to the board and not addressed to an individual member. School board members do not respond to public comments at the time they are given. Any written statements or supporting materials should be given to the clerk. Dr. Martin, our first speaker for today is Alice Allen Grimes, and her topic is Maury High School, followed by William Stiles, and his topic is Maury High School.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is that working? Okay. My name is Alice Allen Grimes, and I live at 1322 Mallory Court in Norfolk. Both of my children graduated from Maury High School, and I served for years as the Maury PTA liaison to the school board. My interest is doing what's best for the students of Maury. You understand the weight of this decision, which is of great importance to thousands of alumni all across the U.S., and to the students who will receive their education at Maury from this day forward, and the neighbors and surrounding community. The Norfolk Preservation Alliance recently submitted updated information to the Virginia Department of Historic Resources and requested a new determination of Maury's eligibility for the National Register of Historic Places. VDHR has recommended again that the building, in its current condition, is eligible for listing. Maury is a significant historic building locally, regionally, and nationally. The best option for everyone is to renovate the historic portions of Maury as a modern school with new construction to replace the various additions. There will be ample space on the property for classrooms, gym, swimming pool, cafeteria, library, parking, and athletic fields. The auditorium is quite simply irreplaceable, especially to the students and parents who are drawn to culture and performance more than computers and sports. It is a hollow claim that renovating the historic school will not give future students what they need. No one has any idea what the future will bring, and there's nothing about a new school built today that will better serve students than a well-renovated Maury. With renovation, there will be new wiring and technology, lighting, plumbing, roof, HVAC, etc. With any decent renovation, a barrier will be placed inside the exterior wall, insulation installed, and new interior walls constructed, and the exterior bricks sealed. If the barrier wall had not been removed as part of the value engineering during the last renovation, much of the current problem with moisture would have been forestalled. The city is moving toward consolidation of our schools, including high schools. Your consultant said at public meetings that renovating Maury will provide too much space. In fact, that space is needed as part of future consolidation. A new school building won't do that if it is squeezed into the insufficient space left by converting the Maury building to apartments. If the building becomes apartments, it will be a loss for students and the community. The public will no longer be able to see Maury's striking interior or attend performances in the beautiful auditorium or raise their children as part of the legacy of this iconic school. The only real winners will be the PPEA team, and a well-connected developer should not be able to sway this city's decision about Maury. I urge you to vote against the PPE proposal and instead approve a plan that renovates the historic parts of the building as a school. With listing in the National Register, tax credits can be used for the renovation, and this option is the only true win-win. Surely, even those who propose the apartments will be happy, since they say their only interest is to save the historic building. Vote for the future and renovate historic Maury as a school. And I hope Ms. Campson was correct and that you will rise above political influence in making this decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is William Stiles, followed by Emmett Morehouse.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name's William Stiles. I live at 1121 Graydon. I have two kids who went through Maury. One graduated 4 years ago, and one just graduated last year. They told me to come here. Actually, it texted me to come here. In the course of their time at Maury, 7 years, my wife and I have been inside that school and seen what it looks like. We were actually just in there last month. We did a presentation for an AP Environmental Science class. So we're in and out of that school a lot, and it needs a lot of love, to put it mildly. I've also been on just about every facilities review committee over the last 10 years that you could think of, through many superintendents and board members. And over the course of that time, I've come to understand the relationship between curriculum and the physical space in which education is delivered. We heard about a number of innovative renovations. We heard about the renovation of Washington Lee High School in Arlington, which again is a pretty tight footprint like this one. And we saw that there was a lot of potential. We also learned that, even schools that were done as recently as Lake Taylor, having inflexible space really does hinder what is a modern education delivery, what is a modern way of teaching children with a lot of flexibility. We saw designs of schools that were redesigned to be more flexible, and it was pretty impressive. The bottom line, I guess, is that the first priority that you have is to the educational needs of the students and the teachers. The second priority is it's a mighty beautiful building, and it does need to be preserved. We've lost so much in this city. I think that the proposal that you have for a hybrid system, if done right, could accomplish both of those priorities. It'll be tough. I don't know of too many places in the state that have tried this. It'll be one-off. It'll require a lot of attention. It'll require a lot of creativity. But I think that it'll afford a way of sort of threading the needle on this. I'll also say, both my kids did well academically, but they were also both athletes. When my daughter was on a team that won the state championship her senior year, and when she went to state championships and they found out that there was no track at her school and only one in the entire city that you can run on, whatever's done, I know there's a lot of property across the street in Llewellyn. If you could put a track together, that'd be fine. My daughter used to have to get bussed over to Portsmouth to use the track at Norcom when the coaches would argue. The other thing is it's the only school in the city that's got a pool. The only other pool that's publicly available is on South Side. There is no swimming pool in public schools. So a natatorium, a swimming pool in the new school would be welcome as well. Anyway, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Emmett Morehouse.
Good evening.
Hello. So I myself am a senior at Maury High School. I've been there all 4 years of high school. And I believe that the best option for Maury is to completely rebuild it. I think I can speak for myself, and from experience, I know that the vast majority of other students and most of the teachers I've talked with also agree with me. I recall one class where there was a rainstorm and the windows leaked enough that it destroyed an entire stack of essays. I'm also thinking back to times when an entire hallway flooded because a pipe burst and they just shut down the hallway while they cleaned all of that up. And I think that these are certainly disruptive to learning. I also think that the primary responsibility for NPS and for the primary purpose of the school is to teach the children that are inside of it. So therefore, I think that everything should be done to prioritize that and to make it the best place for education that we can. Well, there are certainly good renovations and they can certainly be improvements, I think it's a fact that rebuilding Maury is ultimately going to make it a better school. No matter how good the renovation is, rebuilding it will still make it better because you're starting from the ground up. And Yeah, so for that reason, I think it can be improved and made into a school that's worthy of 2023 and not as old as the building currently is. I think that will best meet the educational needs of the students and the faculty in it.
All right, thank you very much.
Next, we have Megan Morehouse.
Good evening.
Hi, I have to follow my eloquent child. My name's Megan Morehouse. I have been an NPS parent for 10 years total. I have my younger son Colin here as well. And I have some comments to read on behalf of myself and also some other Maury parents who are here if they would like to stand up in support. So time and again, so many of us who are proud Maury parents, we advocate to other families, military coming in. My husband was military. I would tell military families, you know, Norfolk's great, and you don't have to go to Virginia Beach or Chesapeake to get a good public school education for your children. So I'm a staunch supporter of our schools, and I know that NPS is home to so many great kids and so many passionate and gifted educators, which is why the dithering over what to do with this school has really been frustrating to many of us. The truth is that Maury High School is crumbling. 20 years of alumni can attest to that, and all the current students and faculty endure it daily, and all of the parents know that. We know it when we go and see the back to school nights. We see the crumbling. Children come home and tell us that, you know, it rained in their classroom or that there's mold and mildew. So we've heard these stories time and time again from our children who are the ones spending their days in the building. It feels that the people most invested in saving the actual structure are not the students and the staff and the teachers who spend their days there. And it's hard to understand why the needs of our students and those who teach and learn and guide our children are not the loudest voices, not the ones that we're really listening to in this discussion. Undoubtedly, the building was once great, but now even the exterior is crumbling, and we could save it, but at what cost? Actually, there's certainly actual costs, but the greater cost, and I firmly believe this, is that we are telling our children, our teachers, our hardworking staff that what matters to us most is a building, not the people. The teachers, the staff, the students are Maury High School, and I think the plan that best serves them and what they've so clearly and loudly spoken for is the plan that we need to consider. Any plan that requires our students to spend the better part of their high school years in portables simply to satisfy the aesthetic interests of those who do not tread its hallways is unacceptable. NPS has invested so much money in metal detectors and safety. How would we use those? How would we keep our kids safe if they're moving from portable to portable throughout the day? The plans to renovate the existing school building both suffer from the same fundamental issue. They communicate to our children and teachers that their learning environment matters less than an old building. Is this really the message we want to send to our kids now and in the future? Because the message is clear to the children already as they watch sections of the gym ceiling fall down during PE and walk past plasterwork that looks like a post-apocalyptic film set, not a school. The building has served its purpose, but we owe it to our teachers and our staff and our children, first and foremost, to stop putting the building first. It's time to act and build them a new school building. Please don't delay this decision anymore. We owe it to our teachers and our staff and our children to stop putting the building first and to put them first. It's time to act and build a new school. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And our last speaker is Richard Levine. Levine? Okay.
Good evening.
Thank you all this evening for the opportunity to speak before y'all. I do appreciate it. I'd like to share my heart for a moment. I find it hard to believe that we would even be considering tearing down Maury High School. I don't know where to begin, and I don't want to, tell you that it wouldn't take hours, but the interesting thing, if you read the obituaries, people who graduated top universities in this country, well, guess what they put in there? A graduate of Maury High School. I've had an opportunity over the last few months to talk to many people. It's so easy to say, students, that's one student, and maybe 100 students. But we had the opportunity this summer to meet over at the zoo and for a picnic that Park Place put on. I can't tell you how many people were shocked that there was even consideration to tear down that magnificent structure. I certainly would not want that blood on my hands if I was y'all. I really wouldn't. We have to preserve that history. What do we have if we don't have it? I spoke to a realtor who said that there's a national show coming to town. The first thing, she's with Berkshire, and she said the first thing they wanted to see was Maury High School. We have something that Virginia Beach will never have. Yeah, they can build these beautiful brand new buildings, but they'll never have a structure like we have. We really need to take a step back. I'm here as a preservationist, of course, but I'm also here as a taxpayer of the city of Norfolk. I got to tell you, in my humble opinion, in reviewing the numbers that y'all have been looking at, it's been presented to y'all, a new school as opposed to renovation. And a new school seems very attractive. And renovation, well, it's only a few $1 million difference. So what would I do if I didn't know? But I got to tell you, I honestly believe the price for renovation is skewed. I think y'all are looking at flawed information. We need to take a step back and really get into it. We keep going back to the same people and expect different results. The millions of dollars for renovation and I am also a developer and a merchant of Brassbridge, Virginia for years, but I'm also a developer. Did a lot in 21st Street, the Ginn area, and the Phoebus area. I'm not going to bore you all with that. But these numbers are outrageous that y'all are looking at for renovation. We strongly I feel like we need to get another opinion. It's a lot of money, taxpayers' money, and y'all need the money. I know that. Y'all fight it every day to get some money.
Thank you, Mr. Levine.
I had an opportunity to walk through Maury High School. Yes, it's leaking in certain areas.
Mr. Levine, your time is up.
Sorry?
Your time is complete.
I just want
Thank you very
I'll
much.
wrap it up in 1 second. It's not as bad as y'all think. It really isn't. I strongly suggest y'all walk through there. It can never be rebuilt. The magnificence of that building can never be reproduced. It can't be.
Thank you, sir.
I know y'all don't have the money for that's another thing, for improvements.
Mhm.
I am willing to put a whole group together to see that the school board has money for improvements in the buildings.
Mr. Levine, I think we all got your message, and I really appreciate you coming out tonight, but we do have to move on with our meeting.
This evening. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to recognize the students who, it takes a lot of courage to get up and speak, and I really appreciate you coming down here this evening.
That concludes our speakers that signed up before 7 p.m.
Okay, up next we have approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Buffalo. Can I get a second?
Second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Basine.
Second that motion.
Ms. Tanner, please call the question.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo? Aye. Blanton?
Aye.
Gabriel?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Stone? Aye. And Martin?
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. We've passed the consent agenda. Up next, we have item 6.01, Ms. Spivey. She's going to present the monthly financial report. Good evening.
Good evening. Chairman Martin, Vice Chairman Moore Buffalo, and our Superintendent, Dr. Birdsong. This evening, I will review the monthly financial reports for the month of October. And looking at the slide that's currently up, it shows the first 4 months of our fiscal year that began July 1, 2023. As with previous reports, this report reflects July 1 through October transactions that are recorded on or before November 27th. Because as transactions, and the way finances work, as transactions happen, they're not necessarily recorded at that point. for instance, the invoices have to go out to have an expenditure. As shown on page 2, for the first 4 months, revenues have totaled $114.4 million, and that is 28.7% of the $399 million operating budget. Collections for the same period during the previous 2 months ranged between but the previous 2 years ranged between 27.4% and 28.2%. On page 3, there is a graph of revenue and expending for the current year. By the end of October, we spent $111.3 million, or 28.7% of the budget. During the previous 2 years, we were around 25 to 27%, so we're running about the same. Skipping over to page 5, which shows our revenues and expenditures, you can see that our revenue collections are $4.9 million above our expenditures to date. And this is just about the same differential that we saw last month at the end of September. And the rest of the monthly financial report are more detailed reports on this information that I've previously summarized. And there were no general fund budget transfers exceeding $50,000 in this period. And with that, anyone have any questions on the monthly financial report?
Any questions? Mr. Jordan, please go ahead.
Thank you. Just have one question. When I was looking at the technology, one of the technology lines, it looked like there was about 43% available after the first quarter. Do you have a sense of what's driving the technology line? And then related to that, I know we've purchased a lot of devices over the last couple of years, I think largely with federal funds that we've received. Are we still providing the opportunity for the devices to go home, or are we restricting them for use only in the school building?
Mr. Jordan, I see the line you're talking about and the large amount that has been spent to date. I don't have the details tonight on those numbers to compare them with previous years, but I will be happy to pull that information together and get it to the board if that's acceptable.
Okay. I appreciate that. My apologies for not getting it to you earlier, but I'd appreciate that. And also if you can follow up on the devices in terms of students being able to take them home for their homework and continued usage at home as well as in school.
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'd just like to point, I know that Mr. Jordan made the comment about the devices and he did it to the Chief Financial Officer. I would like to concur, but actually direct it to the superintendent where it needs to be so that we can have that reported back to the board regarding devices.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to provide some information right now, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
That's fine.
So I appreciate Mr. Jordan's question. And I can share with you that we have spent millions over the past few years since the pandemic on purchasing Chromebooks because our goal was to be a one-to-one school division, and we achieved that. The issue that we have run into is that many of our devices are damaged, stolen, lost, and the school division has incurred the expense of replacing those Chromebooks. And so we've had this discussion, Mr. Jordan and Mr. Clanton, many, many times because there has been a concern expressed by building principals about unfortunately, some of our students, just like textbooks, the Chromebooks not being returned for a variety of reasons. We put some practices in place, some procedures in place so that we could ensure that our inventory was up to date and to ensure that when there are needs, that we are aware of those needs and that we can make additional purchases. And I can assure you, and Jesse Zamora is sitting here, he can tell you that we have spent millions and millions. And I know some schools, quite honestly, are doing a much better job than others at ensuring at the end of the school year, just like the textbooks, that these Chromebooks are accounted for. And unfortunately, we do have several children that have had several Chromebooks that the division has paid for. And I've shared this with the board before. We can't financially continue to disseminate textbooks, not textbooks, Chromebooks, unless there is a valid reason for the damage. We have to have some accountability, just like other school divisions. When Chromebooks come back damaged, children and families have to pay for that when it's the fault of the child and not the fault of the teacher or the school division. So I do know, and Dr. Kimsey will prepare a written response for you that, again, I know some schools are doing better than others, and some principals have expressed that when the Chromebooks go home, then they don't always come back, and then when it's time to assess the children, then they don't have the technology available. But this is one thing that I have said to Dr. Kimsey and to the building principals. If that's an issue with a child that has requested, their 10th Chromebook, we need to do everything that we can to put a Chromebook in their hand, but also hold families accountable when it is the child's fault. And children will tell you, I got upset and threw it on the ground or what have you. But there has to be some accountability there because we can't afford to continue to purchase millions of dollars worth of Chromebooks every year. And so I do know that there's a check-in, check-out policy, and again, I don't know the details. Dr. Kimsey will provide a written statement regarding that to answer that question, but it is my expectation that if a child needs a Chromebook, doesn't have one at home, that they are allowed to check that out so that they can have access to that technology when needed. And not all families may need that, but many do. And so that is my commitment to our families. But it has been a concern.
Thank you, Dr. Birdsong. Any more questions? Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the monthly financial report as presented?
Sorry, Dr. Birdsong, Dr. Martin. I do have one follow-up question. Ms. Spivey, so last month, if you recall, I had asked a question around the funding formula, and I just wondered if you had any updates regarding the city's funding formula and any updates related to that.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the monthly financial report as presented?
I move that we approve the monthly financial report as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Buffalo. Can I
Madam
get a
Chair,
second?
friendly amendment, subject to audit.
Subject to audit, yes. Thank you. And would you like to care to second it,
Second.
Mr. Clinton? Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Tanner, please call the question.
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Clanton?
Aye.
Gabriel?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Stone?
Aye.
And Martin.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. The monthly financial report has passed. Up next, we have item 6.02, the fiscal year 24 budget amendment.
Thank you. With this report, I have good news to share. As you may recall, earlier in the year, the state had not adopted their budget. Of course, they have a biennial budget, so they weren't required to adopt a new budget, but the governor had recommended some changes that we were hoping to have. On September 14th, the legislature did adopt amendments to the budget, and that were signed by the governor on September 14th. These were not exactly the same as the ones that the governor proposed, but they were very positive for Norfolk schools. With this amendment, we will be receiving state-funded revenue, an increase in state funding revenue of $19.6 million for this current year. The majority of those funds are targeted for what's called the Commonwealth's new All-In program. And so about $14.4 million of the total is targeted towards that program. And that information is slightly above where we're on top of the chart that we're looking at right now, above where we can see. Ms. Tanner, if you have an opportunity to go closer to the top.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's okay. The all-in program. So this program, for this program, the funds can only be used to provide tutors for children, to address chronic absenteeism, and to establish an all-in program within our district. Norfolk Public School, all the districts were required to submit a plan of spending the funds. Again, there were very strong recommendations of what percentage we plan to spend on each. And our district, did submit a plan, and it has been approved. With that plan, about $11 million is for direct tutors to come into the schools to tutor our children. About $2.5 million is for new curriculum, and about $500,000 is outreach to support students and families struggling with attendance. So those meet, again, the plan was approved, and it meets the goals of the state's program. And these funds will be accounted for in a separate grants fund so that we can track the expenditures. The remaining funds are the ones that are shown in the chart that begin with the increases in basic aid. And that is an increase of $3.1 million. The state has incentive programs and lottery-funded programs. And as you can see in the chart, some of the at-risk money that was an incentive program has changed, been moved to a lottery-funded program. So there's a reduction of $3.5 million, but an increase of $4.2 million. So overall, it is an increase for the at-risk programs. And the total of these other funds is $5,257,000,000. We are recommending the ways that this money could be spent, with the majority of that $5.2 million going towards a one-time bonus for all of our teachers and staff. And the bonus would actually go to all the contract employees, long-term substitute teachers, long-term substitute teacher assistants, part-time bus drivers, part-time bus attendants, custodial substitutes, school nutrition assistants, and lunchroom monitors. That would use $4 million of these funds. We are also suggesting that we use $1.2 million of those funds to supplement our special education instructional services. What's happening with those is we cannot hire those professionals. We've tried, we continue to try, but we're having to contract a lot of those services out, and by contracting them out, it's more expensive. So in order to do the things that we are required to do, we need to add additional money to the special education. The other money, we did have an overage. Our insurance cost for our motor vehicles is greater than what we had budgeted. So we're suggesting $109,000 be used to cover that difference. And then the remaining of the funds, $57,128, to be used to supplement student transportation for children and youth who are experiencing homelessness. And we do have a requirement to provide that transportation, and the funds are being used. The requirement doesn't go away when the money goes away, so we're asking that be supplemented. Any questions with those funds?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to go back to the All-In program, and I know that this was an amendment from the governor. A couple questions regarding I guess you said $11 million that we've got to utilize there. Are there any required partners that the division has to work with in order to implement this program?
Dr. Paul, could you help me?
There are not any required partners.
Okay. So as far as it's one-time funding, and I guess this will end what? This school year, 2 years? And as far as the requirements, I guess to track success, it's just based on what
SOL data.
SOL data, okay. And so there are no requirements outside of, we've sent our application in, it's been approved, we've got 2 years to be able to utilize this specifically for, I know you said a little bit about the chronic absenteeism, but this is really for reading loss, correct?
So, the bulk of it is for reading or math. So students in grades 3 through 8 who were not successful in their SOL test last year, or 3 through 8 who were not successful in their SOL test last year are required to get 36 weeks of tutoring, so the full year of tutoring. Students who scored between a range of 400 and up to 448 in some instances are required to get 18 weeks of tutoring. So we had to bring in several more tutors, of course, to help handle this responsibility. And this is for both reading and mathematics.
So we are contracting with the outside organization, or are we working with our institutions of higher learning?
We're using both. So they're in the budget. The bulk of the budget is for our partnership with university instructors already, because they're able to get us tutors quickly. And each building is also assigned funds to hire an individual tutor at their school as well. And then we're also supplementing other funds that we have to allow teachers to do before after-school tutoring as well. But this tutoring is for during the school day, so it's difficult to use our own teachers for that time frame.
Right. I feel a lot better. Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Any other questions? Mr. Jordan?
Yes, thank you. Just following up on Mr. Clanton's question regarding the in-school tutoring, and it doesn't have to be tonight, maybe it can be tied into some of our progress monitoring reporting, but just like to get a better sense of how you're seeing the strategies and the impact that it has had or is having or may have on our targeted goals. And then the other question was, and so I've heard from parents from time to time trying to get an understanding of tutoring that is available before school, during school, and after school. So is there something, a strategy or something built into this that also makes sure that parents have a better understanding of the tutoring services that are being offered and how to make sure that their students are benefiting or getting support, or how that process works? So again, it doesn't have to be tonight, but I like if we can at least give some thought to that so that we understand the return on investment and how it is that Students are, I know you, Dr. Poole, you mentioned some students that are identified, but then if there are other students that are in need of services and parents are trying to get tutoring support for those students, then have an understanding of what we're providing in school as well as what we're providing out of school, and whether or not these funds will be able to support whatever the needs are as parents bring them forward in the best interest of their individual students.
We'll provide something for you, Mr. Jordan. We'll provide a written response for you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Go ahead. Okay, we'll go down to Dr. Gabriel.
Ms. Basine was first. Go ahead.
I think you were first, and then I'll defer to Dr. Gabriel, and then I'll go.
Okay. My comment is to the bonus that will be given to the staff members. To each of the staff members that work in Norfolk Public Schools, every time we are in receipt of funds, it's always a priority to make sure that we are passing those funds along to you all in the most holistic way, without any strings attached. Sometimes it's dictated that taxes are withheld, sometimes it's not. We try to give you the most for what you have truly earned. And I would just like to say that there are staff members that we have that go above and beyond the call of duty to take care of our kids. And parents are so grateful. The kids know that. And so you are very deserving of whatever funds we receive, and then we can transfer over to you. And I just wanted to say thank you to those staff members. There are so many that do above and beyond, and I'm talking PE teachers, the bus driver, the lunch specialist who see that child and say, you know what, I think we need to bring you in the line. Come on over here, let me give you a little something extra. There are so many eyes, and the kids know it, and they identify with those caring individuals. So I'm glad that we can pass this on to our staff members, and I just wanted to say thank you to those who truly care and do always what's best for our kids.
Hey, may I provide a follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead.
The intent of the bonus is to be $1,000 per full-time employee. And it is also the intent for the district to carry the burden of the taxes.
Wow.
So that
Okay.
the employees will see $1,000 in a supplemental check.
Thank you, Ms. Spivey. Ms. Basine, would you like to go next?
Yes. Okay, well, that was one of my questions, was about the bonus and the tax burden. So I appreciate the response. The other part of that, I do want to kind of piggyback on that, and I've raised this issue before when we've talked about bonuses as well. But just as we have chronic absenteeism among our students, I know we have absenteeism among our workforce. And I've talked about this, and I don't know that we're going to be able to address it with this bonus cycle. But, in the future, I'd like for us to kind of think about if there is a way to think about a somewhat of like a staggered bonus for those that do go above and beyond, who are there showing up every day for their students, who are present for every day, for their students, and showing that through their bonus. So I just want to put that out there, because I know we've had several bonuses, and rightfully so, because we have a very hardworking workforce, and I know our workforce has been out for a variety of reasons, and rightfully so as well, in many cases. But I do think that we need to also look at our teacher absenteeism, other staff absenteeism. and try to figure out what we can do to better support our workforce as we also look how to better support our students, so that everyone is where they're supposed to be, teaching and learning and in place. So my other questions are around the all-in application. Trying to closed out here for a second. So in category 3, so I'm actually looking at the application that that Norfolk submitted. And I know 10% of the funding, I believe, could go towards chronic absenteeism. And could you, and I think majority of the funds went toward personnel. Can you talk about, like, what, are we talking about attendance technicians? Or are we thinking about, like, some mental health supports, like social workers? Could they be, are we thinking a little bit more outside the box of, individuals who can actually do home visits and try to figure out if there are other supports necessary for families to kind of figure out why students are not coming to school?
Dr. Birdsong, go ahead.
So, Ms. Basine, as you know, we need all hands on deck.
Yes.
So I'll give you a stipend if you'd like to go help us knock on some doors. So it is truly for any staff member who is willing to go above and beyond to help us knock on doors. The principals can't do it by themselves. Teachers can't do it by themselves. So if we have a cafeteria monitor who wants to knock on the door and help to support student attendance, they're going to get paid for their time. And so that is what we wrote into that application.
So that's what that is?
So it's,
okay.
Yes, generally for any staff member, as recommended by their building principal, to go out and support that effort. Because, again, we need all hands on deck.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Ms. Basine, do you have another question? Or?
Well, it just said to help provide interventions for students and families. So that's not any individual can provide that. So I just wanted to learn a little more about that. So,
okay.
But you could get back,
We'll do that at a later time.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Buffalo.
I have a quick question. I'm glad to see this all-in program funds, being that ESSER is about to sunset September 2024. So how long will we get, is this grant for?
Right.
2 years? 2 years, okay. Ooh, got to get busy. So I'm like with Mr. Jordan, hopefully we can see what impact these funds have on absenteeism and tutoring for our students. Thank you.
Mr. Jordan, do you have a question? No, your hand's still up on the screen. I'm sorry. All right. Okay.
We have another set of grants.
Yes,
Keep
keep going.
Okay. So this district was also notified that the state of Virginia is providing us, has offered us construction loans for 2 of our high priority schools, not loans, grants. Construction grants, a large one of $30 million for Maury High School, and another significant one for Booker T. Washington, and that one is $3.5 million. So, and our request with this agenda item is to accept those grant funds and the purpose in which we're suggesting that they should be provided.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Spivey. Can I get a motion to?
Quick question, point of clarity.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know why I was thinking in my mind $10 million for Booker T. Washington. Can you give me some clarity on that?
Probably because there's already one that we received previously for $7.6 million. So that would,
Got it. All right, thank you. All right, I'm good now.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the fiscal year '24 budget amendment as presented?
Madam Chair, I move for adoption of the budget amendments.
I second.
Okay, thank you. So that was motioned by Mr. Clanton and seconded by Ms. Buffalo.
Okay. Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Clanton?
Aye.
Gabriel?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Stone?
I'll abstain.
Martin?
Aye. Okay, so the budget amendment passed. Thank you very much, Ms. Spivey. Up next, we have item 6.03, which is our Maury High School PPEA. This is a public-private educational act. Good job. Good job, me. Okay. We have on here that we're going to vote, but after much deliberation and discussion about the PPEA, we've decided that we're going to give it a little more time and put this on the agenda for next month. Next week, which is next month too. So we're all right. Okay.
Okay.
So what we want to do is, because we have the legal privilege of being able to have these discussions in closed session, we want to prepare ourselves and prepare you all, the public, to have the discussion in public. And so you have a better understanding of where we're coming from before we take that vote. So that will be next Wednesday at our work session. So could I please get a motion to amend the agenda and remove item 6.03?
No, Madam Chair, I actually like to make a subsidiary motion
Okay.
and move to defer the item 6.03 Maury High School PPEA to our Wednesday, December 12th work session.
Okay.
That was December 6th.
Did I say?
December 6th.
Did I say December 6th? What did I say?
12.
Oh, yeah, I wrote 12.
December 6th. Okay. Can I get a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Basine.
And Madam Chair, just to iterate, because I know you're going to go into discussion there, for the public that's watching there, and the motion for defer is purely for transparency. We've had an in-depth discussion, and what Madam Chair has said there in respect, we want to make sure that the public is completely aware of what we're doing and what we're taking up and what action may be there. So this isn't to delay or deter anything else, but we want full transparency and that we're on the same page. And then when we come together as a board, and along with the community next week, we can take action in whatever way that will look. Okay.
And I just want to add that this is just, we had an unsolicited proposal, and this is just to decide on the PPEA, whether to accept or reject it. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, Ms. Tanner?
Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Clanton?
Aye.
Gabriel?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Stone?
Aye.
Martin?
Aye. Okay, that passes. Next, we're going to enter into executive closed session. So can I get a motion to enter into closed session? Give me one.
Motion to enter into closed session.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Stone. Can I get a second?
What was Stone?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Gabriel. Ms. Tanner, please call the roll.
Yes. Basine? Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me read it.
Yes, please. The motion.
Move that the members of the school board go into a closed session for the purposes which are set out in subsection A of section 2.2-3711 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as amended 4, discussion or consideration of disciplinary and any other matters concerning students in Norfolk Public Schools that would involve the disclosure of information contained in a scholastic record pursuant to subsection 2.2-3711A2 of the Act. The subject of this session is the review of a matter concerning a specific student. B, consultation with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by counsel pursuant to subsection 2.2-3711A8 of the Act. The subject of this portion of this closed session is for legal advice regarding the matter set out above in subsection A. Basine?
Aye.
Buffalo?
Aye.
Clanton?
Aye.
Gabriel?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Stone?
Aye.
And Martin? Aye. All right. We're going to go into executive session. But as far as that, the only thing we'll come back out here for is to adjourn at 9 o'clock. So have a good evening and thanks for coming out.